Hi, it's Michael with you to recap the Week 14 contest between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. The notes and schedule are courtesy of the National Football League and Browns applications, as well as the television broadcast. Cleveland played on offense first after kick returner D'Ernest Johnson took back to Justin Tucker's kickoff to the Browns 19. On the game's second play from scrimmage, quarterback Baker Mayfield threw a pass to tight end David Njoku for a gain of 20. Following a pair of 3-yard runs by Nick Chubb, the running back, it was 3rd and 4 on the Cleveland 45. The other featured running back, Kareem Hunt, took a short pass from wide receiver Jarvis Landry after Mayfield lateraled to him. Hunt went to the left side into Baltimore territory for 10. After Baker completed a pass to Harrison Bryant for 4 yards, Njoku caught one to move the sticks to the Baltimore 18. Rashard Higgins then received the ball, but Marlon Humphrey forced a fumble, but Higgins recovered it at the 9 to keep the possession alive. Mayfield went back to Rashard, who was stripped again, this time by Marcus Peters, and fortuitously, the ball went out of bounds at the 7. Chubb got the next carry and took it across the goal line for the game's initial points. Kicker Cody Parkey slotted through the point after, and it was 7-0 Browns almost 6 minutes into the game. Devin Duvernay was back to return for the Ravens and was tackled by Tavir Thomas just past the Baltimore 25. Linebacker Sione Takitaki recorded a sack of quarterback Lamar Jackson on the first snap for the Ravens offense. After the rookie running back of Ohio State, J.K. Dobbins, picked up 5 to create 3rd and 6, Jackson gained the necessary yardage, plus defensive holding added 5 more yards to the Baltimore 43. Gus Edwards ran the ball on the ensuing play for 4 yards, then after a delay of game saw it for another 4. The next play was the key moment of the drive. On 3rd and 7, Myles Garrett put pressure on Jackson, but M.J. Stewart grabbed Lamar's intended target downfield, and the pass interference kept the Cleveland defense on the field. The ball rested on the Browns' 25. Jackson kept the ball on the next 2 snaps for 13 and 6 yards respectively. Terrence Mitchell held Dobbins to a solitary yard, but Lamar found daylight up the middle for Baltimore's first points. Tucker knocked through the point after to square the game at 7, almost 12 minutes into play. Cleveland was able to continue to move the ball well after Tucker sent the kickoff into the end zone. Chubb got 2 yards on the ground. Then Chuck Clark committed interference on Bryant, which put the football at the Browns' 45. Matt Judon, who was injured earlier in the game, sacked Baker Mayfield for a loss of 8, but was called for roughing the passer. Mayfield connected with Jarvis Landry, who recovered his own fumble after Humphrey knocked the ball loose. After Chubb got short yardage, Baker could not hook up with Donovan Peoples-Jones, forcing 4th and 4 at the Ravens' 34. Though Mayfield could not hit Higgins, Jimmy Smith interfered and the possession continued. The next set of plays went south because there were 2 incompletions, and in between said plays, Harrison Bryant jumped too soon, putting Cleveland behind the down and distance. Mayfield could not get the required yardage, settling for 7 to the Baltimore 21. On 4th down, Parkey came out for his first and what turned out to be his only field goal attempt. The ball went wide to the left, and the score remained tied after the first play of quarter number 2. The Browns' defense rose to the challenge after the offense could not finish. An incompletion occurred, then Olivier Vernon took down Lamar Jackson. Sheldon Richardson also added a sack to complete a 3-and-out. Sam Cook's 46-yard punt necessitated a fair catch by Peoples-Jones at the Cleveland 35. Kareem Hunt caught a pass for 5, but Marcus Peters was penalized for illegal use of hands, making it a fresh set of downs at the 40. Hunt gained 4, but after an unsuccessful deep ball to Higgins, Mayfield passed up on an opportunity to run for the line to gain, throwing incomplete to Bryant, and Jamie Gillen could not get the touch to get the backspin to pin Baltimore deep as the ball reached the end zone, and the Ravens started at their 20 with 12:30 to play in the first half. The Baltimore rushing game was unstoppable on Baltimore's 3rd drive as Dobbins started with an 11-yard advance. His teammate Gus Edwards ran for 4. Then Jackson, the Heisman Trophy winner from Louisville from a few years back, found room on the right side for 10. J.K. added a baker's dozen into Cleveland territory. Myles Garrett was hurt on the next play, but would continue. Jacob Phillips limited Dobbins to 1 yard on first down. Jackson found Snead over the middle for another 10. Lamar used his feet to rush for 20, and Edwards finished the 8th-play drive with a touchdown for the final 11 yards. With less than 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, it was 14-7 Ravens after Justin Tucker's point after try. The Browns were not fazed, beginning a 75-yard charge with a short gain by Nick Chubb. After Baker Mayfield could not locate Harrison Bryant, it was 3rd down and 8. Baker completed to Jarvis Landry for an important conversion with a tired Cleveland defense needing to catch their breath on the sideline. After Chubb netted 3, Mayfield found Donovan Peoples-Jones on a deep ball for 37. The Browns were on the precipice of the red zone. Nick Chubb did the rest, getting carries of 8 and 14, the last of which went for pay dirt. Parkey made good after the score to pull the game back to even with about 4.25 minutes left in the period. Duvernay ran the kickoff back to the Ravens 25, and the next series commenced with a Vernon takedown of Jackson for a loss of 11. Dobbins and Justice Hill could not muster much on the ground the next 2 plays. Interestingly, the Browns, with multiple timeouts, elected not to use one on the front side of the 2-minute warning, although Cleveland also knew Baltimore would get the first possession of the second half. The Browns did get decent field position with 1:51 left, but after Peoples-Jones got 7 on 1st and 10, they went backwards. An incompletion, then offensive pass interference negated a 14-yard catch by the aforementioned rookie. Then another unsuccessful pass stopped the clock. It would result in a penalty for intentional grounding. Gillen did not get the best of punts as his went just 35 yards to the Baltimore 44 with 61 seconds on the game clock. The Ravens were forced into 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions from Lamar Jackson to Marquise Brown. The Cleveland defense could not make the big play because Jackson made the spectacular play to Mark Andrews to get the road team inside the 20 at the 17. Jackson then went straight up the middle to put Baltimore back on top with 30 seconds remaining. Mayfield was able to find Higgins for 18 up to the 43 before Cleveland used a timeout. And still, they could not do much after that as they could not get into scoring range, and the teams went to their respective locker rooms. So Baltimore started from the 25 in the 3rd quarter and got a first down by penalty because Kevin Johnson made illegal contact. After a carry by J.K. Dobbins and catch by Marquise Brown, it was 3rd and 3. But again, the Browns defense could not go back to the sideline because Jackson ran for 44 to the left side. Gus Edwards took it in from 19 yards by running it up the middle, and the Ravens were doubling Cleveland 28-14 more than 2 minutes since halftime. The Browns needed a response, and they did just that. Baker Mayfield threw complete to Harrison Bryant, which went for 9 yards. 2 plays after Nick Chubb picked up the first down, he got an additional 11. Mayfield could not connect with Jarvis, but did with David Njoku for another first down into Ravens territory at the 40. On 2nd and 10, Chubb had a sizable gain coming up a yard short of the chains. Mayfield then located Kareem Hunt to set up 1st and goal at the 5. The ball went right to him, and he scored. The extra point, though, was pushed to the right, so it was 28-20 with just over 9 minutes remaining in the 3rd. The feeling at that time was as bad as the defense was playing. Cleveland could feel very fortunate that the margin was just 8 with so much time left. Larry Ogunjobi limited Gus Edwards to 3 on the next Baltimore possession, but Jackson connected with Miles Boykin to advance the ball 15 yards. 3 plays after that, Lamar Jackson went in the direction of Mark Andrews, and the 7-yard completion netted a first down at the Cleveland 47. The Browns' defense was able to take advantage of an opening when the Ravens were penalized for a false start. Carl Joseph and Myles Garrett tackled Dobbins on first down to keep him to 4. 2 Lamar throws were incomplete, and Cleveland made a much-needed stop, but had poor field position with just over 4.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Mayfield made his worst decision at a bad time as he tried to fit a ball into Rashard Higgins, but Tyus Bowser stepped into the passing lane and ran it back to the 1. It only took 1 play for the visitors to punch it in. J.K. Dobbins was the ball carrier who delivered the 6 points. Defensive tackle Vincent Taylor was able to block Justin Tucker's extra point, which was picked up by Tavere Thomas, but he could not run it back for 2 points, so the score remained 34-20. Cleveland would dust themselves off with another 75-yard scoring drive. Chubb did get almost 5 on the first play, but Jedrick Wills twitched prior to the next snap, forcing the Browns to do damage through the air on 2nd down. Mayfield went to the reliable Jarvis Landry. Then Baker ran for first down yardage for 5 plus 5 yards tacked on after an illegal use of hands infraction on Devontae Harris. Chubb was tackled in the backfield by former Jacksonville Jaguar Yannick Ngakoue and L.J. Fort, losing 1 yard. Wills was hurt on the play. Similar to the previous set of downs, Mayfield completed on second down to Bryant for 5, then used his legs on third down. This time he did not have enough to reach the marker. The offense stayed on the field for an important 4th and 4 with half a minute remaining in the period. Mayfield went back to Landry for 12. Considering how the Ravens move on the ground with a 2-score lead in great field position, not converting there would have made it that much tougher to scale the deficit. With the final seconds going off the clock, Cleveland got another playoff. Though Mayfield could not hit Higgins, the Browns challenged that the Ravens had too many players on the field at the snap, and the ESPN replays proved that it was indeed the case. Hunt ran the ball on 1st and 5 down to the 27 to set the game up for what would be a frantic final 15 minutes. On the early downs, Jihad Ward was in coverage on Higgins as Baker could not deliver the ball to him. Hunt was stopped by Patrick Queen and Fort, so on the pressure downs, Mayfield got half of the distance on 3rd and 8. Then on 4th down, he found Higgins for 6. Instead of kicking the extra point, Cleveland went for 2. Donovan Peoples-Jones caught the conversion, and the new score read 34-28 Ravens with 13:36 left. Quarterback Trace McSorley came in relief of Lamar Jackson due to cramps after Cody Parkey kicked the ball deep enough for a touchback. McSorley ran for 4 and was pursued by Sione Takitaki, but then threw 2 incompletions, and the Browns had the ball back knowing that they could take the lead after Baltimore used only 50 seconds on their last series. So on Cleveland getting the ball back with 2nd and 10 from the Cleveland 30-yard line, Baker went back to Jarvis to move the sticks. Then Kareem Hunt needed 2 carries to pick up another first down at the Baltimore 46. Chubb added 3, then Rashard Higgins started up the left side line for 8. The 2 alternated again with Nick for 6 and Rashard moving the chains for 10 more. Chubb then created a goal-to-go situation at the Baltimore 6. After minimal gain and an incompletion, Mayfield ran to the right for the touchdown. Parkey's successful extra point gave the Browns their first lead since 7-0 back in the opening quarter. With just over 6:30 left, Cleveland kicked off and Duvernay took the ball back to the Ravens 21. With Trace McSorley still in, he threw incomplete on first down. Then Sheldon Richardson tackled J.K. Dobbins to force 3rd and 10. But the defense could not get off the field because Trace connected with Willie Snead for a baker's dozen. Dobbins got 5, then fumbled thanks to Terrence Mitchell, but a Raven fell on it 4 yards further up the field. J.K. Dobbins converted 2nd and 1 just across midfield. Back-to-back carries by Gus Edwards set up 3rd and 2. Myles Garrett came up with a tackle for loss of McSorley. Trace was hurt, and Lamar Jackson re-entered the game at the 2-minute warning. On 4th and 5 from the 44, Jackson hit Marquise Brown and went the distance, and Baltimore recaptured the lead. So up 5, Baltimore went for 2 as Dobbins muscled his way across for the conversion. So 42-35 was the score, and then the Browns showed a lot of character to take the lead back the Browns showed a lot of character to take the lead back on their previous possession, and they had to go down the field one more time to get back on equal footing. From the 25, Baker Mayfield went in the direction of Donovan Peoples-Jones, who not only gained 30 yards, but wisely went out of bounds to stop the clock. Landry did likewise after catching a 7-yard pass. Mayfield then threw a short pass to Kareem Hunt, who ran the ball to the Baltimore 22. The clock ran, and the duo hooked up on the next play for a 22-yard score. The play was close, but Hunt broke the plane after it was reviewed. And, well, in retrospect, it would be easy to say that and certainly it was mentioned by many people on social media, perhaps it would have been better served that Hunt was ruled down at the 1, allowing the clock to continue to run, and maybe score and punch it in with very little time left. But as it stood, the touchdown made it 42-41 Baltimore, so Parkey was had to come out for the extra point, and he was true on the kick. And with 1:04 remaining, 42-42 was the score. So, as it turned out, Baltimore continued to feast on offense for consecutive 14-yard passes to Mark Andrews from the Ravens 25 to the Browns 47. And after a timeout with 38 seconds remaining, Jackson completed to Snead at the 41. Then it was back to Andrews inbounds for another 4. Lamar had enough time once the offense was set to spike the ball with 7 seconds showing. And Cleveland chose not to ice Justin Tucker with a timeout. And to be honest, I'm not convinced it would have mattered because he has a rocket of a leg as he calmly knocked through a 55-yard field goal. So with 2 seconds remaining, 45-42 was the score. And the Browns had no choice but on the kickoff to try to play the lateral game in hopes of replicating the 1982 California Stanford play. Mayfield, Hunt, Higgins, and Landry were all involved, but they were all going backwards, hoping to find space on the other side of the field to try to advance it forward. But Baltimore kept proper spacing, and Landry ended up being tackled and going out of the end zone for a safety. So that made the final score 47-42, Baltimore winning the game. So, games to watch in Week 15 include the Browns at the New York Giants, which will get the standalone primetime treatment at 7:20 p.m. Central. Other games that can affect Cleveland include earlier in the afternoon on Sunday when the New England Patriots travel to Miami to face the Dolphins. The Ravens host the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Tennessee Titans welcome the Detroit Lions, and the Houston Texans are at the Indianapolis Colts. All of those games are in the 12 o'clock window. And on Thursday night, or last night, the Las Vegas Raiders lost at home in overtime 30-27 to the Los Angeles Chargers. So, what does that mean? The standings in the American Football Conference look like this. The Kansas City Chiefs with 12 wins and 1 loss, followed by the 11-2 Pittsburgh Steelers, 10-3 Buffalo Bills, and 9-4 Titans. Those are the division leaders who occupy the top 4 spots. Below them are the 3 wildcard teams, which include the 9-4 Browns, 9-4 Colts, and 8-5 Dolphins. On the outside looking in sit the 8-5 Ravens, 7-7 Raiders, and the 6-7 Patriots. The rest of the conference show the Denver Broncos at 5-8, Texans and Chargers with a 4-9 record, the 2-10-1 Cincinnati Bengals, 1-12 Jacksonville Jaguars, and the 0-13 New York Jets. So the National Football Conference features the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints with identical records at 10-3. Green Bay has the tiebreaker based on their win at New Orleans earlier this year. The Los Angeles Rams sit third at 9-4. Then the 6-7 Washington Football Team. The non-division leaders that currently reside in playoff positions are the 9-4 Seattle Seahawks, 8-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the 7-6 Arizona Cardinals. Not among the top 7 are the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears, who are 6 up and 7 down. A pile of 5-8 sides are the Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, and New York Giants. The Philadelphia Eagles have a 4-8-1 record, and the Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers are each 4-9. So that is how we stand. You can follow the North Texas Browns backers on Facebook by typing in North Texas Browns backers in the search box. On game days, the Irishman Pub on Preston and Frankford, as in Frankford Road, is where Browns games are shown during the season, so be sure to come out if you are in the Dallas area. Masks are required, so please make sure that it covers both your nose and your mouth. Videos and previous entries can be found by typing Michael Balesta Roman numeral 2 on YouTube. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at MJB, as in boy, OLESTA 2, as in the number 2. http://www.mjbalesta2.wordpress.com has the text form of this blog. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless you. Take care.